Hello and welcome to my September 2025 reading vlog. I'm sure some of you might be wondering, where is your August one? Well, here is my August one behind me. It's ready to go, but it's currently now October, and I'm going to try and film the one that is a little fresher in my mind first, and then we'll come back to the August one in a bit. Fingers crossed it'll be later this week, but regardless, I will get to it. I'm very determined to still film one of these a month. I just might be a little slow about it. But as it is, as I said, October now, and I'm starting to build an October reading vlog pile, and also I'm on the approach to filming my manga collection tour for the year. I really want to get these done so I can put them away in preparation for that video. Towards the end of the year, I always usually find I'm getting a lot more busy, both with work and in my personal life, so I wasn't trying to hold myself to any like strict goals for the last couple of months really. There's a couple of things I've done to try and help aid my reading. I'll talk a bit more in my August vlog about some of those because that's when I initially implemented them. But in September I did start trying to do some like group readings. I tried to read like 3 or 4 volumes from a series in a go, and yeah, that really worked really nicely. I used to be quite like not big on binging. I used to just like jump around, not a whole lot, but I definitely think as of late, the last like year or two, binging at least 3 volumes has just, I've enjoyed series so much more because of it, so I'm a lot more keen to try and do that where possible. For the first half of the month, I didn't really do that too much though, so a bunch of the volumes from earlier are just going to be like lots of singles, and then we're going to sort of move into loads of series where I read a bunch of volumes together. I definitely think they've given me like a bigger overview of story and stuff, so hopefully it'll be more fun things to talk about. The first volume I read in September was Wash It All Away Volume 2, and I'm a little annoyed at myself because I read Volume 1 on the last day of August, and I didn't quite get through Volume 2 before September, and I didn't want to lie to myself on my spreadsheet about where those dates lay and when I read each volume. Do I talk more in this one or do I talk more in the August one? Because it's going to be hard to separate them. Probably my August one. Really cute, really lovely. It's like, it definitely is one of those like slice of life. Like what is it? It's slice of life. It's light-hearted. There is a bit of mystery to it. She's lost some memories. She can't remember much before a couple of years ago, I think. So there is like a vague bit of ongoing story to it, but otherwise it's just pleasant. And I definitely do think as of late, I've enjoyed those kind of reads a lot more, especially as I'm more busy. I'm like trying to juggle a lot of things at once. Having a series like this where it's just nice. It feels like I'm taking a really deep breath when I read them, and I kind of appreciate that every now and again. I think this might also have an anime coming, so I think I want to try the anime of this as well and see if it is also as just calming. It's Square Enix. It's a little bit more pricey, but I am definitely going to keep up picking this one up. The Dashing Zaddy and His Icy Protege Volume 2. I really liked Volume 1 of this. It is a BL office older men romance, I guess, and I really liked Volume 1. Volume 2 I was a little more on. I think there was a lot less interactions between the two like main characters, which was the bit I really liked in Volume 1. But you get a lot more side characters, which were still like nice. I just wasn't as like caught on as I was with Volume 1. So I think I'll give it another volume or two of a read to see if it like picks up anymore, but otherwise I might hold off and wait for sales for this one. Fragrant Flower Blooms Dignity 7 and 8, and I did vaguely try to hold off to read a couple at the same time because I did that with the rest of the series 1 to 6 and I enjoyed it lots. As I always forget to say at the start of the video, this is going to be full of spoilers. I'm usually like, Volume 1's fair game, but in my reading vlogs everything is fair game. I'm going to spoil everything, but there will be timestamps, so do jump around if you don't want spoilers and all that jazz. Yeah, Fragrant Flower 7 and 8. They are now full swing in a relationship, having a nice time, being super awkward because they're high schoolers, and they're nice high schoolers, they're pleasant high schoolers. It's really cute. We're starting to get more time spent with some of the other characters. Someone had a birthday, it was super cute. Everyone was just so nice. Everyone was just so nice. And towards the end of Volume 8, some of the girls from her old girls' school happen upon the pair of them holding hands and going out on a date, and they're like, you really dating him? You shouldn't be doing this. And I really liked the angst around that and how it was dealt with towards the end of the volume, and there is a character in that group that I absolutely adored. She was great. because she was just like completely on board and would like, I want to know where you met and all that jazz, and wasn't like nervous and worried like the rest of them. So I assume we'll see more of them in the next volume, so I'm looking forward to 9 quite a lot. Feisty Omega and his twin mates 1, not a one-shot, goodness me, but these are never long. They're like 2, maybe 3 volumes long, max, usually. If this turns out to be longer than that, I will eat a sock. I don't know. It is explicit. It is a plastic wrapped, so I'm going to be careful about how I flick through it. It is a group of 3 where 2 of them are twins, so that's a bit weird. I don't think I'm going to rush to get more if and when they appear. Maybe a sale section second hand. It was all a bit weird. I did quite like a Megaverse though, so that's honestly mainly what drew me, was a Megaverse, but yeah. I was so unhelpful, but yeah. Spacewalking with You, Volume 1. I have so many thoughts on this one. We primarily follow these 2 characters. On the front, we have a new transfer student, and we have a guy who is kind of probably on the delinquent scale, struggling to focus, pay attention in school. And this character here is very, very much on the spectrum. He struggles with social cues and following what people are talking about, like emotionally, and yeah, generally acting in front of other people and talking with other people. And I think a problem I have with series with autistic representation is, as someone who is also autistic myself, I find myself incredibly, what's the word? I have a very love-hate relationship with how it's represented. Sometimes like I really, really love how they do it, and sometimes I really, really hate how they do it. And I think it's more a personal thing on how I feel like it reflects back on me. Sometimes if it feels a bit too close to home, it really bothers me, and I don't like that, and I don't want to read that. Because I feel like I'm just reading about struggles that I myself have, and I don't find that enjoyable. I don't want to be reminded of things that I can't do and I don't understand how to do them. I know sometimes having talked about it, it can like come across as a surprise, like, really? All this like content and social media stuff you do, and you go out in public, and it's, how many of you have met me in person? I feel if you met me in person, it would be a lot more obvious. It's a lot different sitting in a room on your own with a blanket and a cat talking to yourself about manga. I think while it did upset me, I did still enjoy it. There were parts of this I did still enjoy, and I did kind of like the relationship between these 2, especially the like odd relationship, friendship that is bud between these 2 characters, and the general sort of acceptance of each other between them. Even though they both have their own struggles, they're kind of like vaguely trying to support each other in their own ways. Also, I also absolutely adore astronomy and space. I did a GCSE in it and took it as a free elective at university. Did astrophysics at university. It was just 1 module in 1 year, but it counts. To be fair, if I hadn't gone into computer science, my next options were either statistics or astrophysics. If I didn't go and do a computer science degree, it would have been one of those 2. I just absolutely adore space. So I did relate and understand a good part in that as well. I'm definitely going to keep reading it. Would I recommend it? I don't know. I think a part of it is me being more sensitive to the cues, the social cues. Some of it is also just really lovely, and a lot of the really lovely bits are the bits that made me cry. And then a couple of bits where we're like, shit, that hits too close to home, I don't like this. I would be interested in hearing other people's thoughts on it. I haven't gone looking on any of the reviews or seen anyone else talking about it, so I am very much interested in other people's thoughts if they've read it. Something very much on a completely different end of the spectrum is Don't Hold Back Lord Hades, Volume 1, which is a steamship, plastic wrapped, steamy. I think sometimes steamship lets me down. Where it does the volumes, does series, they're not even plastic wrapped. I don't really understand why they're steamship titles. But this one was definitely a steamship title. And it, mythology, I like this one. I mean, yeah, it's got lots of questionable moments, red flags. If you're concerned, do look into it. But if you're already on the steamship, I was going to say train, steamship, ship, it's a boat, then I would definitely say this one is up there for me on the steamship line. Another steamship title, Adored by an Elite Officer, Could This Be Love? Volume 2. I feel exactly the same way as I did with Volume 1 in that the spot scenes are like remarkably well drawn and not like really weird angles that sometimes some of them are. It's like, it just looks like it hurts. The only thing is, I don't think the story is that great. I don't feel at all compelled by either the characters or what's going on around them. It's just the night bits, really. It really feels really like, ugh, to say. But yeah, the story, I'll Become a Villainess, It Goes Down in History, Volume 3. I really like Villainess series where they're not actually that villainessy. They're just like, they stand up for themselves and they don't take shit. And also when the saint is actually a bit of a bad person. And that is exactly what this series is. We also get a bit of a time jump in this one, which felt a little bit out of place. It felt a little random and a little forced. I don't know if it's different in the light novel, which this inevitably has, but with a title this long. Yeah, I think that might just be a me thing. I think I was really enjoying the pace the story was going at before, and it was like, right, 2-year time skip. What is it? Was it 2 year? 1 year? I can't remember how many years the time skip is. But it's definitely up there. I'm really enjoying the moments and like the saint being a unknowingly terrible person. She's just so just in her thoughts and beliefs. She doesn't think that anything she says could be wrong. So I look forward to this. I look forward to more of this one a whole bunch too. Hair is so bushy today, isn't it? Oh dear. Next we have Adabana Volume 1. This seems to have had lots of people going crazy for it. Obviously, I'd never heard of it. I am a complete pre-physical English noob. It's a new series by Dark Horse. I think it was plastic wrapped. So the premise is it's a murder mystery where this girl has come forward admitting to the murder of her friend in high school. And a lot of this volume is sort of showing us the lead up to what happened, spending time with a friend, things that were going wrong, what potentially led to what happened. By the end of Volume 1, we still haven't gone back enough through the timeline to see the actual murder occur, but we are on the way, and we are also still seeing things occurring in the modern day, like investigations from the officers, going and talking to the girl who was now held in prison. I did personally find it a bit of a tough read. It has a whole bunch of not pleasant things happening to both the teenage girls in the lead up. For example, very explicitly shown attempted rape, a very explicitly shown stalker and mental manipulation, abuse. Yeah, yeah. And I know it's completely on me for going in blind as I very much usually do, but I just did not realize it was going to be like that. It was really gross. So I'm saying this as a warning. If you are concerned, look up more warnings, content warnings, like on Storygraph. I will say I am kind of hooked on the mystery. I want to see what's happened, what's going on, because so far I don't really see how she could necessarily want to off a friend in the way that she did. I don't think it's a very long series either. I think it's like 3 volumes maybe. So it's not like a big commitment, and I do really love my mystery series. I love my mystery series, so I just would say be careful before going into it. If you like see all this stuff about, oh, it's really, look at all these great things, everyone's loving it, because I feel like of all this stuff I saw people saying great things about it, I don't think I'd seen anyone mention at all some of the concerns or trigger warnings for it, which I'm always a bit weird with trigger warnings in that, are you sure you're going to get necessarily the right trigger warnings or the right trigger warnings for someone, or will you miss any, or will you say wrong ones? So my preference is usually, I think there are concerns, please do go and check out Storygraph where people can submit their own. I disagree with not necessarily saying there's any, or this is a really great read, everyone should read it, because there are some really, like, there are moments that I know would upset people desperately if they read it unknowingly. So, yeah, good mystery. Just please, please look up what sort of things happen in it before you go into it, if you could be concerned. With You, Our Love will make it through volume 3. Oh, it's so good. I just love it so much. We have an anime coming out for this soon as well, I believe in the next month or so, if it's not already out at the time of me recording. In this volume, she goes and visits the Beast Town. It's probably not what it's called, but she goes and visits the beast, where the beast folk live, and visits him at his house. There's a little bit of an incident, but it kind of gets resolved, and it's just really cute, two of them spending time together. I think my biggest gripe is they don't release very fast. I'm not sure if that's a real gripe or not, but the same with, like, as I said about, I've been enjoying reading a bunch of volumes together because I feel like I get enough story to, like, sink my teeth into it. I almost want to wait and have a few to read them together, but I don't want to wait. I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna get another volume. I'm gonna read it because I really like it. I need some self-restraint. My new boss is Goofy too. This is so cute. It's so silly. It's not really much of an ongoing story. It's about a guy who who's changed jobs, and his new boss is really goofy and really silly, and the workplace is really wholesome and lovely, and the characters are all really, really lovely. They all work at a marketing firm, so quite often we see them engaging with different clients or going to different clients' spaces, and they're trying to, like, come up with marketing material for promotion. And we're just getting, like, little snapshots of them in their office life doing this, and it's just really nice. Again, it's not really an ongoing story, it's more like episodic bits, really. I'd say it's probably one where I'm verging on maybe not picking it up in a 3 for 2, but I definitely do want to still pick it up. It's very I don't think I necessarily go through it in one go either. I'd probably, like, have this on the go between other reads, and I'd read, like, a few chapters of this and then read something else, a few chapters of this and read something else. It doesn't necessarily feel like one where I just, like, sit and binge it. It's not really one I want to binge. I just want to have it as, like, a palette cleanser, I guess. Given Loafer 11. These always hit so good. They're always just, oh, the characters always feel so fleshed out and real, and actually experience real turmoil and issues, and they're not just so flat. They're not flat. They're the opposite of flat. What's the opposite of flat? Everyone's gone on a trip in this volume, and they've, like, been split up into groups and doing group activities, trip activities, and we get a bit of time between these two. I am finding it a little, like, awkward, but I think it's more just, like, I'm getting older and it's teenage angst. A bit awkward on him talking to her because he's suddenly been like, oh shit, I do actually like her. But she's, like, beginning to move on, or at least outwardly is, like, moving on, and he's like, balls. So yeah, that's been both really nice and really, like, awkward to read, but, like, in a, oh no, don't do this kind of awkwardness. Also, really, I don't know if this is weird, but I love this colour on the spine. I think the light is making it look a lot more redder than it is, but it's, like, kind of a plummy red colour. I think it's this like screams autumn to me. This whole, like, outfit vibe and the spine. Autumnal. 31st Consort Volume 2. I really liked Volume 1 of this, and I did still quite like Volume 2, just not as much as Volume 1. So much drama. Someone attempted to burn down the 31st Consort's house, and now she's in hiding in another Consort's house who's going to bow out and is going to now try and train the 31st Consort to be, like, queen or emperor or whatever, empress or whatever it is. Because pretty much the prince is set that he wants to marry her, but there's, like, protocol and process they need to follow. Just nicely light-hearted, really. I'm not sure I'd rush to recommend, but I'm enjoying. Perks of being S-Class Heroine Volume 5. We are now, like, a good way into our time jump now. Our main character is pretty much a young woman at this point. She's been climbing this tower, trying to train herself. And she's gotten accidentally sent to, like, a really high-class dungeon because the tower wasn't fully complete, and the people who were, like, the powers be that built the tower are freaking out. But it's okay because she is powerful enough to be able to fight the monsters in this dungeon and she runs into a whole bunch of people, and yeah, she completes the dungeon and gets out, and I think she has one more floor, and the next floor accidentally teleports her to another dungeon. Is it an accident? Can't remember. But she does get sent to a dungeon with the male lead character. So again, going back to like the overall plot of the story, she has been isekai'd into a book that she has read, and in this book he is the main character, and the premise is that he keeps looping, going back in time when he dies and looping over and over and over again. And I think it's a particular loop that he is successful on, and she has been sent to a particular loop in this cycle, and she's trying to keep a low profile, especially from running into him, until it gets to the right particular loop. Also, I can't fully remember, truthfully. I completely forgot about the looping until this volume. And yeah, she's been trying to avoid him for many years to not mess up like the order of events, and she goes through the door on the 100th floor of the tower to train, ends up in a dungeon right in front of him. Now he's like on the verge of death, and it's like, excellent, great, okay, I'll help you. And they kind of tag team some fighting in this dungeon, and it all goes great. And then he's like, I'll see you again. She's like, yeah, sure you will. And then like she taps out. And then I think the end of the volume is starting the looping now. And I think the sort of the general plot of what happens in the book is also now beginning a bit more in earnest. So yes, really starting to properly kick off now. She's a woman now. She's grown up. She's a young woman now. She's incredibly powerful, and she's like on the way to try and support the male lead into being able to vanquish the evil that's in the world. Look forward to the next volume. Villainess turns the Hourglass, volume 8. It's the final volume in the series. It is complete at 8 volumes. I was a bit indifferent, I think, to how it ended. The whole general plot and the revenge wrapped up in volume 7, I think in the last volume, or volume 6. And then we kind of had this follow-up plot involving the two characters' children time traveling back to try and change some events that happen in the future. And then that's been kind of like the wrap-up plot, I guess. So like, I don't hate it, because sometimes I feel like you've got this big, huge ongoing story plot that's going on for the whole series, and then suddenly it stops and you're done. You're like, oh, okay. It's like you've just crashed and you've immediately stopped. So I don't really mind. There was kind of like this bit of a buffer to like slow us down to get to the end. But I don't feel like I loved it. It was fine. It was there. I think it kind of did I think it slowed the pace of the story. It did what I felt it was there for. I do think there was some open endings that got added and then not resolved around like some other characters being reborn or memories. I wasn't too clear. There was a lot of things that were like really quickly, nicely wrapping things up, like finding the magic water that will cure diseases, which was like a whole plot point in the like last bit of plot. Yeah, okay. I really liked the whole revenge bit. I enjoyed them in the lead up to that, resolving that, and then yeah, it ended. Yonoi Tsukihiko's Happy Hell 3. Now, I do like the series, but like it's really hard to talk about like exactly what happens, especially volume by volume. It's not a really huge amount that happens. It's a older romance, a little steamy, but it always fades away, cuts away. And he's a bit more jealous and she's a bit more ditzy. A lot of the volume is them trying to clear up a misunderstanding where he didn't outright say, I want to date you, and so she didn't take it as they were dating. He thinks they are and she doesn't, because there's not been a clear set of communication. So I did get a bit annoyed about miscommunication. But it wraps up pretty quick, to be fair. It all wraps up in this volume, so I'm less mad about it. I do enjoy it. It's really hard to talk about. There's not a huge amount happening. I'd still recommend it if you're into that, like, older romance between adults. How I Attended an All Guys Mixer. Is that what it says? Yeah. How I Attended an All Guys Mixer, Volume 1. The new release from Panini, and we've got some French flaps. I have been enjoying a bunch of the Panini reads. I've got some more coming up, actually. I picked this one up, I think, in Traveling Man, and it was $9.99. It's nice seeing some at $9.99, because a lot of, like, Outside of Viz, a lot of the bigger publishers, so Yen Press, MC's, Kodansha, all their volumes are more than that. They're $11 or $12.99 for ones of this size. Now, it was a bit thin, so maybe I'll let them off on that. I'd seen a lot of people really excited for this, but I didn't see that until after I'd already picked it up. So basically, the premise is these characters are all women, but they cross-dress for work. They all work at a cross-dressing bar, and there is a set of 3 guys who are going on a blind date with these 3. They turn up and initially get very confused because they're like, I thought we were meeting some women. And they're like, yeah, we are. We just came here straight from work. And a lot of the plot is they do end up pairing off, basically. And you kind of see bits of the pairs spending time, or sometimes they're all spending time together. It's very lighthearted. It's very cute. I'm not blown away, but it was still a nice read, and I'd recommend it, and I'll keep reading more. The Fed Up Office Lady Wants to Serve the Villainess, Volume 1 from 7 Seas. Now, this is marked as a GL, Girls Love. I don't think there was a crazy amount in Volume 1, though, because I ended up, like, checking. It is an isekai, and it is an isekai where this office worker has been pulled into a mobile game, and she has been summoned by the Villainess as a summon, and they sign a contract together, and she now like works for her basically. And she is like trying to improve the admin life of the Villainess, because I think she likes the Villainess character a lot. Or am I now mixing it up with different Villainess titles? Yeah, Villainess GL. She ends up working as like an assistant for the Villainess and like does a lot of office admin work for her to make it easier, and it's just sort of time spent with them. It hasn't been too GL-y yet. It's more like isekai fantasy school life, because they're all at school. The Villainess is at school. That's kind of been it mostly for the most part. Unless I've like blanked on some GL moments, but I don't feel like there's really been any yet. Spy Family 14. We actually had a chapter. Was it 1 chapter or 2 chapters? Not sure. We had a couple of chapters which I believe followed part of the plot for the movies. Was it White? Code White? Maybe? Where they go to some mountains. But it did like kind of rush through the ending. The ending was like, and it was all resolved by doing this thing, then this thing. And we kind of got some flashback moments to explain what happened. So I probably need to go watch that movie. I really, really enjoyed the bit of the volume where they had like a ball or a dance for the students, and they were all trying to dance with lots of people were trying to dance with Anya, and a lot of people were trying to dance with Damien. Anya ends up dancing with Damien, and it's super duper cute because they're all really, really super duper awkward. The Anya and Damon moments are like the best moments. I would love to see them aged up so we can like explore a bit more, but at the pace we're going, I have no idea if that's going to happen. I wonder how this is going to end. We're on 14. It's a slow releasing series anyway. We get like 2 or 3 volumes a year, I think. Maybe 2. So we've probably got a while to go. Assassin and Cinderella Volume 2. Bear with me. I don't think this is very good, but I don't think you're necessarily reading it to be good. I think the way the characters are drawn is great. It's kind of a little bit scratchy, but I kind of like that. Nope, I can't show you that one. You might be able to tell what I mean with like this panel. It's kind of like, it's not like the smoothest. You could definitely like tell it's been drawn. I don't know how to describe what I mean. But I still kind of like it, and I don't usually. It is like the most kinky it can be without being plastic wrapped. Like, I'd question if it was with another publisher, would they plastic wrap it? I almost feel like I could see this being plastic wrapped in stores, like stores plastic wrapping this themselves. Nothing like outwardly happens, but there is a lot of outfits and smut talk that is so borderline. But I kind of enjoy reading their relationship. It's incredibly toxic and not healthy, but I'm reading a book. That's fine. Daily Life of a Middle-Aged Online Shopper, Volume 1. What a title! What a title! I really hope that people see this title and then think of me, and they think of my dumb isekai titles. This is embodying everything I want out of a really dumb isekai title. It is so stupid. I love it. I absolutely adore it. Pretty much as the title says, it's about a middle-aged office worker who is isekai to another world, and his ability is he can online shop. He can feed coins and currency in from the world he's been isekai to and buy stuff online. And you might be like, oh, like food and water. Yeah, He can buy food and water. He can also buy stuff like an excavator, diesel generator, and a house. It's just so insane, and I love it. I love this level of insanity where like it doesn't necessarily make the most sense. That's fine. Super dumb. Having now read it, and I've read it in October, so I'll be talking about it more next month. Having read Campfire Cooking in Another World, it feels a bit like that in terms of being able to purchase stuff online, but this is like next level dumb. My only complaint about this is it's a bit harem-y, and there are moments where he does randomly bone someone who works at the inn where he initially stays, and it is so like sudden, quick occurs. What do I mean? It occurs so randomly and quickly and suddenly. I was like, whoa, what? But also to that point that like it just didn't add anything. It's not even like gross. It was just so randomly thrown in there. It just didn't, it felt weird. I wish they just not had, I wish it just not happened, and then it would have not made any difference to the story at all. But otherwise, the rest of it, adore, dumb, it's great. So definitely be getting more. Jeanette the Genius Volume 1, another Panini read. I read these back to back. So this is like, oh, sorry, I didn't read the full title. My apologies. Jeanette the Genius, defying my evil stepmother by starting a business with my ride-or-die fiance. And this is a ride-or-die fiance. Jeanette is so oblivious and not really aware of her surroundings. So in this story, Jeanette's dad has remarried, and so Jeanette has a stepmother. Jeanette also has a stepsister. Her dad is also quite like business savvy. I believe he's a merchant and she's a merchant's daughter, and he's like tried to raise her to be business aware and know about money and building businesses and stuff like that. She finds it really interesting. She spends a lot of her free time like just reading about businesses, trying to build up business, stuff like that. And because of that, it's kind of like orchestrated her a little bit. Orchestrated? Orchestrized? Orchestrized? What's the word? She's not well liked in the like formal noble community because women don't work. If you're a noble and you have money, you shouldn't be working. But she wants to. So she's not treated the best, especially by her stepmother and stepsister. They are incredibly abusive to her. And I believe the story starts with her stepmother going, oh yes, I've flipped through, I remember now. So the dad's gone missing and the stepmother has gone, it's going to be really hard for me to remarry if I've also got like an older daughter with me, so you have to get out of the house. And Jeanette's like, what about my stepsister? Even she's a year younger than me, and the stepmother's like, she's young enough, it's fine, you have to get out. And Jeanette's like, fine, I'll leave and take all my businesses and paperwork with me. And she ends up visiting a fiance, or the fiance like goes to Vita and is like, I heard you got kicked out, are you okay? And Jeanette has this like in her mind that because all the nobles hate her and she's a burden, that she's been a whole burden to her fiance the whole time, and wants to be able to cancel the engagement and free him. And then it becomes apparent that the fiance is desperately head over heels in love with her and absolutely will not let that happen. He's like, no. He's like, do you not love me? And she's like, no, that's not the problem. Just, I'm a burden. And he's like, how dare you? I will support you. You're gonna move into my house. And then he supports her. He like encourages her, helps like build businesses. It's just really quite nice seeing them like working together to fight against this evil stepmother. Well, not outwardly, not like on purposely going like fighting her. They're just trying to do well, and in doing well, that's the biggest achievement. I know what I mean. Okay, hi. I had to take a break because I kept coughing, and then it's just been one thing after the other, losing my voice again, coughing, busy, everything. So I had to take a break filming that. We're back about a month later. I'm sorry this is mid-video, but I'm now hoping that I'm feeling a lot better and have a little bit of time to try and just catch up on all my reading vlogs. So let's finish the September one first. I'm hoping I can still remember all of my thoughts and everything that I've read, so forgive me if not. Anywho, next we have Baki the Grappler Volume 1. So this is the first volume / series from this new publisher, Kodama Publishing, and I am just absolutely gobsmacked that like a brand new publisher got this as their first license. I say many times, but there aren't many series that I'm aware of in digital or and not in English print. It's predominantly what I know. But Baki is one that I did know, and it's one that I was actually hoping would get a print. I really, really wanted to read Baki quite badly. And we're getting it, and they're releasing like 2 volumes a month for a year, 24 volumes total complete, which is insane. But here we are, I've read volume 1. I have not yet read volume 2. It's on my TBR trolley. I'll hopefully get to it for the end of the year. And yeah, it's a fun, overpowered, fighty story. This guy is an up-and-coming, very strong fighter. Not a huge amount has really happened. I hear it does take a little bit to get into the swing of like the insanity, but I'm fine with that. I'm just really, really happy we have it in a print, and I'll keep collecting it. I've already ordered a couple more. I can't wait to see more. Next we have Solo Leveling 13, and this was really emotional because technically the main story kind of wraps in this volume, and we have some like follow-up epilogue / continuation after this. I'm still not sure I fully follow what happened. I was very confused, but basically, remember this is all full of spoilers, all of these full of stories. Basically, I think that our main character kind of got rid of all of like the abilities, the powers and stuff, apart from himself, to try and like reset it and have like the world be a better place. And I think I did still enjoy it. I definitely started to get lost once we started getting into the explanation of why things happened the way they did, what dungeons were, what were hunters, the monarchs and all that. It might be something I need to do a reread or potentially read the novel instead. That might help me follow better. I don't think 14 is out at the time of me recording this. It's currently about mid-November. This is how late I am. And I still have to film my August reading vlog. It's right there. Let's see how many I can do today. Anywho, yeah, so I still don't think 14 is out, but it's imminent, I believe. For a start, In the Abyss Volume 2. Truthfully, I don't remember a huge amount about this one. It's majorly drama-y. I had a just quick flick through. I was like, oh yeah, lots of drama. I don't really know if I'm liking it. It's probably going to be in a similar vein to some other like drama-y series where if it just stays being really down, I'm probably going to sort of stop picking it up as quickly. There's only so much I can take before I just feel a bit down. But the main character is like starting to kind of get some acting roles or attempt to get some acting roles, but her family is doing literally everything they can to stop it and sabotage everything. It's just all really shit. I'm so grumpy at all of it. I'm running for Crown Princess, but all I want is a steady Paycheck Volume 1. It's an fantasy romance. I love this kind of thing. If you love the really long, weird, dumb title things, you'd probably enjoy it. It's very lighthearted, it's very comedic. Basically, it's another princess trying to find a princess, someone to get engaged to. So all of these nobles have like gone to the palace so we can liaise and chat to them and see who he should pick. And this girl didn't want to go, she wanted to stay home and look after her family, her brother. She does a lot of like the housework, cooking, all that sort of jazz, because they're not like a very well-off noble family. And she's like, no, I need to stay and look after my brothers, my mother and all that. And then she's told, well, you know, even if you just take part, you will get a paycheck, you'll get a bunch of money, even if you don't get picked. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it for the paycheck. She has no interest in being the Crown Princess, she's just pretty much there to take the paycheck, hence the title. Very, very silly, definitely actually made me laugh out loud, but it's not like exemplary writing or anything. Again, just go for it if you like this kind of thing. I also wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing it in sale sections, to be honest. Isekai Affair Volume 3. This completes the series. Yeah, it is a plastic wrapped. I still, it was an incredibly rushed ending in my opinion, but I'm not like too mad. I don't really see what else they could have done. It was like they were desperate to have a happy ending. And what that meant was the guy travelling back in time to the day before he was about to get married to the princess, whom he didn't want to marry, and instead he eloped with the warrior before all of that happened, and they all live happily ever after. Sacrifice of My Manly Soul Volume 1. This was weird. This was really weird. It's about a group of guys who dress as girls to attend an all-girls school upon the ask of the headmaster, I think. And they're like basically trying to stay hidden and not get caught. And towards the start of the story, one of the girls does catch this guy and finds out that he's a guy dressing up as a girl. It's incredibly lewd. It's very lewd, crude humour. If you enjoy that, if the premise interests you and you enjoy a crude story, maybe it's for you. I think it's probably going to be a sale section series for me. Quality Assurance in Another World Volume 10. I nearly said volume 2, don't know why. Volume 10. Now, I haven't filmed it yet, but in August I read 7 volumes of this in like a day, and I loved it. I'm so happy, and I've realised that I keep forgetting to order volume 11 when I do an order. As I say again and again, my day job, actually not as much anymore, but originally I was a QA engineer, quality assurance engineer. It was my jam. So this is an isekai set in a video game with quality assurance engineers, and I am simply besotted with it. I love it. It is actually a little darker though. It has some dark moments. Volume 9 has a very dark moment in it, and there's like trigger warnings throughout the chapter for it, which I've only seen like once or twice before. I don't think it's outstanding, but I genuinely adore this series, and I'm trying to convince people I work with to read it as well. I'll talk a bit more about the story, I think, in my August reading vlog, because I've read so many then in quick succession. But I was really happy to also I found it on sale in, I think, was it Forbidden Planet or Forbidden Planet International / Worlds Park Birmingham. I was really so pleased. Snow Angel Volume 2 has been such a wonderful representation of just being like stressed, overburdened, worn down, had enough, and I'm not usually great with like down, sad stories, but this one I think is just done so well. I feel like it conveys, I feel like as well it's conveyed the feelings of the character over necessarily getting me down, which is a problem I have with stuff and series and stories. I don't even think it's a very long series. I want to say it's only maybe 4 volumes long, so we're already halfway through. I Abandoned My Engagement, long title, volume 3. I genuinely can't remember what happened in this volume, but I am enjoying it. Like, I know I'm enjoying it, and it almost annoys me more when I've enjoyed it and then I really struggle to like talk about what's happening. I probably put it in a similar vein to the Paycheck Crown Princess one, that if you enjoy your fantasy romance, you probably enjoy it, but I'm not going to rave for it. This is why I need to sort out and change up how I do my reading vlogs. I can't do big bangs because I can't commit to them. I need to do it in some other way, especially so I can talk immediately after I've read it, when all my thoughts are fresh in my mind. Hatsune Miku Acute. And this is a one-shot. I don't know if I've just got a really bad track record with picking which Hatsune Miku manga to read, or they're all like this, but this one was as cursed as the other one I read, Cinderella. Obsessive love, attempted joint murder, suicide. Yeah. God damn. It was almost a bit painful to read as Miku starts going a bit delusional later on. So basically, which other Vocaloids is it? So it's a love triangle with Miku, Kaito, and Luca. Basically, both Miku and Luca fall in love with Kaito, and then they like make a pact that neither of them will try and date him for the friendship. And then Miku learns a few years later, at some point later on, that Luca and Kaito are in a relationship, and she kind of has a bit of a breakdown and like blackmails him to sleep with her, and then is convinced she's pregnant with his baby, and they're getting married, and so messy, so messy. Why are they all so messy? I'm almost scared off reading anymore now. I have, I think, 3 or 4 more Miku series to read. Most of them are one-shots. I think I'm just scarred. I'll stick to my cute little Nendoroids. They won't do this sort of thing to me. It's a really, really pretty cover though. Rai Rai Rai, is that how you pronounce it? Volume 1. As an FYI, she doesn't wear this during this volume. Maybe she does later on. It feels a bit clickbaity. The basic gist is similar kaiju number 8. There are these like weird creatures, kaijus, walking the earth, and through weird happenings she gets merged with this one. Do I have a panel of what he looks like? Is it more aliens than kaiju? One and the same. It all looks kind of the same-y in like how it's treated in the story, I guess. And so this is like one of those weird alien kaiju, and this is the one that she's kind of like paired with, but it has its own conscious, and they like talk to each other inside her head, and that's kind of been the plot. And she gets captured, and it seems like they're trying to recruit her to work at the organization to help deal with other kaiju aliens. It's a very striking yellow cover. I am very, very fond and soft for yellow covers. It just looks like she's covered in pee, doesn't it, or mustard? I don't really get it. It's meant to be blood, but they didn't want to do blood. It just looks like pee. I think I enjoyed it. It was silly. It's very comedic. So I'll probably still continue picking up this one for now. Brilliant Healers, New Life in the Shadows, Volume 1. I feel the like the opening of this story has been a bit more common in that it's a guy who's quite powerful and strong as part of like the hero's party, but he's treated really badly and then eventually he's kicked out. And then he goes off to prove him wrong and show how strong he is, usually surrounded by a group of really hot women, kind of what's happening here. So his really strong ability, he's a really good healer, basically. And after he gets kicked out, he moves to the slums to try and be a healer there. Live quietly in peace, but ends up healing a lot of people in the slums. I don't mind harems too much, it depends. This is probably on the end of a bit too harem for me. It's so just like, it's not even really, doesn't really work in the plot in my opinion. It's just, it feels a bit forced. Oh, so many of them are forced. No, I don't disagree, but there are a lot where they kind of vaguely sometimes work, but in the scale, it's on the scale of Back in Time Manhwa Marriage of Convenience Volume 1. I believe this was sent by Yen Press. Again, appreciate lots. It's an upside down heart. How do I do a... There we go. That was harder than I thought it would be. Yep, I liked it. I like this kind of thing. She's turning a new leaf. She's a bit more conscious about the bad things she did the first time around, and we're improving on it, and people are liking her. Rock is a Lady's Modesty Volume 1. Another one sent from Yen Press. In a very prestigious all-girls school treat that's meant to be like prestigious and fancy and they're all ladies. A student is really big into like metal and rock music and happens upon another student who's into it, and they start jam sessions together. This one plays the guitar and the other one plays the drums. But they're both considered like very prim and proper ladies, so they're trying to hide it from the rest of the schools to not damage their reputation. It's kind of funny. They swear a lot at each other. They're pretty aggressive. Mild giggles while reading it. Not sure if I'm going to rush to stay up to date. Maybe another volume to see what I think. But again, probably wait till I see it discounted. Roses and Champagne Volume 1. One of what I feel were 3 quite like heavily excited for BL releases in the last few months. Since September, the other 2 have arrived. They're just going to be in future reading vlogs. I think actually one is in October and one is November, looking at my various piles. I think of the lot, this has been my least favourite. I didn't dislike it, I felt a bit like I wasn't that bothered. It's a mafia-esque BL. Is it mafia? Underground crime. I don't even think I necessarily disliked it, I just felt a bit ambivalent with it. So I'll just give it some more to give it a better chance. Villainess Marionette Volume 2. I had to flick through to again remember what happened in this. There was a bit more back and forth with the romance. There's some worry from the female lead that she's going to be done in by a brother or something. And there was some nice palace corruption that was foiled. Again, fun Back in Time fantasy read, but nothing like... I think it's one of the prettiest. It is a very, very pretty story. I love how the female character is drawn, the female lead. She looks stunning, especially her eyes, damn. I think that might be my favourite thing. Also the cover has like, can you see the hollow? At this point in the month, I had started to struggle to read a bit, so I decided to try and do something that I have tried a few more times. I did start it in August, but I haven't filmed that reading vlog, so you've not seen it yet, where I tried to pick a series I wanted to read and read like 3 volumes together. And I found that reading 3, at least, volumes it was so nice to take in the story. It was a good amount to take in the story. I feel like I have enough to talk about. Sometimes when I read just 1 volume, it's like, well, nothing really happened, to be honest. We've kind of just sort of moved a bit further from where we are, but not enough to like say? I don't know. So we have a bunch of series where I've read like 3 volumes. So the first series I did that with was Snowball Earth. I read 1, 2, and 3, and I really, really liked it. I'd seen quite a few people describe it as Kamika Communicate meets Kaiju number 8, and yeah, yeah, I get it. Again, we've got kaijus, and this guy pilots a robot to beat him up. Things go a bit skewy. He's been in space beating up kaijus, and his robot, who's like his best friend, kind of self-destructs to help beat up the last of the kaiju, or most of the kaiju, and then Shuttle sends his escape pod back to Earth. By the time he gets back to Earth, unfortunately, it turns out it's experiencing like an eternal winter, and a lot of humanity has died out due to the snow and the cold. But he does manage to find some other humans and start to see what's going on. Turns out there are kaiju on Earth, and some of them will pair up with humans and let humans command and control them, and they can pilot them and like fight each other. And he's found a school that people are using to survive because there is a heat source through a kaiju that is friendly to them. And then by the end of volume 3, we have some people coming to attack. Kind of the plot of this. But yeah, because his friend has predominantly been this robot, he has incredibly terrible social skills. And like a big plot point is him trying to make friends and talk to people. But he's a bit shit at it, basically. I have since picked up like more volumes of it, but I've been holding off reading them until I could talk about these 3 because it's so hard to talk about a series up to a certain point when you've read past what I want to talk about, as you've probably seen a few times. So I'm desperately trying to stop doing that. So now that I've talked about it, I can now read more. I think it's up to 7 now. I think I have up to 7. Speaking of, and I have actually read further on this one, Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me. 1, 2, 3. And in case you're wondering about the stickers, I will take them off. Sometimes I hold off taking them off if my nails are a bit weird, because pulling them can like peel the sticker on my nail as well. But I'll do it now now they're all fine. So the plot of this is, I think they go to a magic school and this couple is spotted with each other, love each other very deeply. And the girl, it's like their final year, they've just had their dance or something, and she goes into a room to check on her boyfriend and he has passed away. He sat in a chair, looking asleep, but nope, he's dead. She is incredibly distraught, rightfully so. And then a weird thing happens, she kind of falls over, faints, and then wakes up when she's back in her 10-year-old self. And like her whole plot is to try and get back to the present, to find her boyfriend and talk to him, make sure he's okay. Because last time she saw him, he was dead. So she does all this, she works hard, she gets into school, she finds him, and she's like, I'm so happy to find you. And it turns out he hasn't gone back in time, only she has. And he's like, who are you? Leave me alone. So the plot is kind of a mix of her trying to figure out what happened, / make him fall in love with her again, or like show him like we were such a good couple, we loved each other, da 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 da. And oh my gosh, the heartstrings. Watching, like, oh, it feels like a really, like, what's the trope? What's the trope this makes me think of? She, like, because she is the only one that remembers and she's already in love with him, it reminds me of the trope that she fell first, but he fell harder. Like, this embodies that so aggressively well. Highly recommend. I have since read volume 4. That's in my October reading vlog. I've lost track of months. I'm so far behind. It's in my October reading vlog. Adore it. I read all 3 of these in an evening, and I'm definitely annoyed I put it off, but also I'm glad I put it off enough to have 3 volumes, and I only had to wait like 2 weeks to read volume 4. 5 isn't out yet right now. Highly recommend this one. Cat on the Hero's Lap 2, 3, and 4. Now this completes the series. It's complete at 4 volumes. It is such a cute series. It's about a group of adventurers who a cat won't leave them alone, so they decide to just travel with the cat. And I have such a soft spot for cat series, and this was so adorable. It's so cute. It's so lovely. There isn't really a huge amount of plot to it. They're adventuring and they have cats, and they keep happening upon other cats, and they get into like silliness with the cats. There are some bits that are sad and I cried. There are some bits that are lovely and I still cried. I'm going to tell you now the ending. Spoiler for the ending. Spoiler for the ending. It's a happy ending. It is a happy ending. I was a little worried, like, would they go the sad route? No. It is a happy ending and I love it. It's complete at 4. Very cute. If you love your cats and you're soft on cats and fantasy, do try it. Again, not groundbreaking, but nice. Next series I caught back up with was Grand Blue Dreaming, and I read 4 volumes of this. I read 19 to 22. I was worried that reading a comedic series I might like stroll to do a whole bunch in one go. Will it slow down? But actually there is some slight plot-ish, kinda, if you squint, of vague slight happenings with these 2 characters. Slightly. Ever so slightly. Absolutely hilarious, crude, dumb, childish, crude humor. So much my thing. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm glad I actually did it because it just really perked me up. I was really grumpy at the time because, yeah, I just kept coughing and losing my voice repeatedly. This perked me right up. There had been a real big gap between volumes coming out. I think it was between 19 and 20. So I kind of held off reading for a while anyway. It was like a year or year and a half. And then I've read all 4 and got back up to date. I adore it. Love it. Mr. Villain's Day Off, volumes 4, 5, and 6. And again, I caught back up to date. I did a lot of getting back up to date with what I had. I was very pleased. It's an episodic 4-coma comedy around a villain who's attempting to invade Earth
and there's a group of heroes that are trying to stop him. But it's about the days that the villain takes off and often goes and sees Panda and eats fun food. It's very light-hearted, again, not really much of an ongoing story, but still was just a really nice like palette cleanser read. I think actually I did too many palette cleanser reads looking at what the next series I have to talk about is, but I highly recommend this one, but they are thin. Please buy them secondhand, on sale, whatever. Please don't pay the $13.99 RRP for these, or even $14.99. You know, I realised we only have 2 more series to talk about. We definitely go through it a lot quicker when I've read like loads of volumes for one series. So the next series we have is Cat Gamer 6, 7, and 8. I was on a bit of a cat binge, okay? I was feeling cat series. 8 is the last volume of the series, so this completes it. I actually took a slight break. I read 6 and 7, then I read the next series, which I'll talk about, and then I read 8 after that. Because I kind of didn't want it to be over. I love Cat Gamer. It was a big series that helped me convince Ben we should get cats. Now we have Miku and Yuna. And I love the cats in this, and I love the monologue we get. Again, there isn't really much of an ongoing plot apart from just the nice times that the woman has with her cats and playing games and stuff. I do think we hit a COVID segment and they have to start working from home, and there's a wonderful part where they're doing like a Teams call or whatever they use in Japan, and people had pets appearing on camera and they were all showing pets. It was like, oh yes, I do that. Everyone loves seeing cats on camera. Okay, not everyone, a lot of people do that. There is a vague slight conclusion to the story. To spoil it, again, skip over if you don't want spoilers. To spoil it, her place of work are relocating their offices, so all the staff need to move as well. But she's unable to find an apartment that she can afford that allows pets. So instead of getting rid of her cat, she decides to stay put and change jobs. Rightfully so. And she ends up working at, I don't know what they're called, but the place to help you find apartments. And she helps people find apartments who have pets. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then she goes home to her pets and plays games. I'm gonna cry. Really lovely, really wholesome. There is a new series from the same person coming out now called Cat Crazy. I haven't read my volume 1 yet though. I'll give it a little bit of a break since I binged these not too long ago. The last series finally, and I've completed this reading vlog, woohoo! Last series to talk about that I read in September is volumes 2 to 5 of The Do-Over Damsel Conquers the Dragon Emperor. So I read 2 to 5 and caught back up to date. How do I fit these nicely on the camera? Not easily. What am I doing? It's like some weird game. Can you hear the clacking? I'll see if the mic picks that up. Anywho, yeah, I can't get over the age gap. I, in theory, liked the premise. It's a girl was murdered by her fiance and goes back in time and is trying to escape him and ends up accidentally engaged to the emperor of the neighbouring country, and he takes her with her so they can be engaged, basically. Except, she's like 10, and he's like 18, 19. She's like 10, and they don't skimp on like the romantic moments between the two of them. I couldn't, in theory. If she was like 16, yeah, but she's just too young. And I know you could argue, well, mentally she was 16, 18 before she was murdered and went back in time. I don't give a damn what mental age she is when she is in the body of a literal 10, 12-year-old. That's where I draw the line, when they are a child. So 6 is out, I haven't bought it yet. The rest of it is kind of interesting. The political intrigue on the run from brothers and political enemies, and her former fiance is still trying to get her back for reasons, even though former fiance is having an affair with his sister. Yeah, it's so messy. I'm so absolutely baffled. I do see it now appearing a bunch in sale sections, so I might hold off till then so I can see if it gets better, but I'm really not rushing on this one at all. So thank you so much for joining me. I was gonna say I'm really sorry this took ages for me to finish, but you won't actually see anything. I'm gonna edit all together. I do still have my October and my August reading vlogs to film. I'm gonna read my film. I'm gonna film my October one first because it's fresher and just see what I can manage with the August one. And I already am starting to plan on different ways to film these kind of videos next year because I've just not managed this year. And I do like talking about what I've read, just 2 hours of filming in one go, plus my throat's just not strong enough for that. So I have ideas on how to do it, I'm not going to implement it this year, so I'm going to force myself through to finish the rest of them for this year and change it going forward. Of the rest of my reading vlogs, when they'll go live, I genuinely don't know, because I've planned out my video schedule to February now, and I completely forgot about reading vlogs, so none of them are in my schedule. So these might be members only. Hello members, I appreciate you. Let's do the heart again. Whee! I feel like I'm doing like a smart, I don't feel like I've got enough roundness for the heart. Is that a better heart? This feels like a better heart. There we go. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas on reading vlog videos and short of, yeah, I'll take anything. I'll take any inspiration. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. I hope you have the most amazing day and I'll see you next time. Bye!